Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we're going to be recapping the month of May, talking about all things finances and goals and all of those types of things. And then of course, we're gonna essentially reset for the month of June and just kind of get recalibrated. So that is what we are going to be doing in today's video. So if that is of interest to you, then please keep watching. Okay, so I'm here with my iPad. We're gonna be doing all things on our iPad for today. I assume this video is gonna be a little lengthy, but you know what? You guys, I figured because the video is going to be lengthy, I was not going to worry about lighting and all of that, and I was just going to come on here just as purely and as rawly as I know how. And so I'm not doing any lighting. I'm just sitting in front of this window, and I think we may move around in the video, but I think this is going to be the angle, and this is going to be the primary setup. Before we really dive into the video, I thought that I would kind of do a little segue, a little intro by sharing a high from May, a low from May, a favorite, and a fun fact. So that's what we're gonna do before we dive fully into today's video. So I would say my high moment from the month of May would probably be my sister's wedding in Myrtle Beach. It was kind of like a mini, family reunion, and my husband and I had a ball. We hung out with our family members and friends, family friends essentially, who were there, and it was just a good time. I don't know, it was just very fun. I do have to say that my husband and I will have a ball wherever we go. I would consider us both to be two people who know how to have fun individually, so together it's just a fun time, and it's always been that way for the past 10 years. Since we met, we knew how to have fun separately, and together it's just a vibe. And so I guess what I'm saying is, I'm not saying we took the fun to Myrtle Beach or we brought the fun, but what I'm saying is we had a good time, just the two of us, even though we were amongst, different people and hanging out with different people. Just me and him, we had a good time. So I would say that was my high for the month of May. Now for my low, I would say it was just the other day. Today's the last day of the month, by the way, but just the other day, maybe like, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, maybe the day before, but we had like this plumbing issue. It wasn't as serious and as deep as you may think. It was actually quite simple, but it was something that we could have avoided. And both of us, we have the personality types where we kind of beat ourselves up individually for not doing something that we could have prevented. I don't know, we're just that way. It's not a good trait, but that's just how we are. So it was something that we could have prevented if we would have moved a little faster, but we're also procrastinators, so then we beat ourselves up for that's the toxicity of it all. But yeah, it could have been avoided. And it wasn't that big of a deal. We got it under control in a few minutes. It wasn't anything major. We didn't have to pay for anything. We could fix it ourselves. But it's just that we've been in this new house for 2.5 years, and I don't know, it was just something about it going wrong, and we could have prevented it from going wrong, that didn't sit right with our spirit. So I would say that was the low for the month of May. So let's talk about a favorite. I would say my favorite, and I'm thinking of my favorite item, my favorite memory, my favorite whatever, would probably be the planner that I recently created. I recently made my own digital planner, and I haven't flipped through. Well, I already filmed it, but it's trash because I wasn't in focus. So as you can imagine, trying to flip through a planner when you're not in focus is not gonna be a thing. So I have to refilm it. And anyway, I would say that was my favorite. I learned how to create a digital planner, and I created my own digital planner for me that perfectly fits my needs, which you'll probably see a little bit in today's video. I don't know, I started it in May and I finished it like not even a week later in the same month of May. So that was probably my favorite moment or memory from May. But of course, I did do a mood board, putting together like a picture collage of all of the memorable moments for the month of May. So I'll share that with you guys in a minute. Fun fact, I don't know why this is a fun fact, but I was making my drink today, which I'm using, this whole setup is from Amazon, and it's probably linked, I've linked it before because I've talked about it before. So it's probably in my home favorites Amazon thing in my description box, in my link. I'm confident. In fact, I'll double check it. I'm the worst at linking, and I'm laughing at myself in my head because I'm like, are you really gonna double check this? So in my head, I'm gonna double check it in case, so that it's all well and good in the event that you want to explore this option. But anyway, as I was making my drink, I was thinking, I read somewhere recently that the wider your straw is, like go for a wide straw, especially if you suck at drinking water like me, because you'll drink more water. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. So like with the same motion or in the same time frame, like let's say I had a little small straw and I was trying to suck through it, like first of all, it's gonna be easier to suck through a larger straw, but basically I'm not putting forth any more effort than what I would be I guess, or time or energy. And I'm getting more water down. So I mean, it's only been like 10 minutes since I made this drink, and you know, she's coming down. So that's just a fun fact. Get you a wide straw and do your thing, sis. Go off, sis. I'm probably in a better mood than what I normally am, which I like to think on a scale of 0 to 10, with 0 being kind of like low and 10 being high. My energy level, my baseline energy level is probably at like a 5. Like, I'm really just not a high energy person. I just am not, I'm not a low energy person, but I'm not a high energy person. If anything, I might be a 6 for my baseline. I can go up to a 9 or a 10. So it does, you know, I can get a little hype, if you will, but for the most part, I'm just chilling at like a 5 or a 6. I probably seem a little higher than my baseline because this is my last week of school. I work in public education. My husband, he works in public education too, but we work in different districts. So he's off already, living his best life. And I have 2 more half days, tomorrow and the next day. And then I'll be living my best life and we'll be off of work for the summer. My niece is here. You know, we have a dog, a rescue animal that we rescued last year. 2021, yes, the same year we bought a 2021 car, brand new car. Is in a month later, my husband brings home a dog, not even a month later. So I'm like, I probably could have got a real, like a throwback used car. Had I known, I'd be, you know, becoming a dog mom, and I would have to tote around a dog on the regular. So anyway, yeah, so we'll be home with my niece and my dog and doing all types of fun things, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let's go ahead now and get into the next segment of this video, and we're gonna talk about our May finances and then our June finances, which I won't have to talk about too much because I already did a June monthly budget video, which I will link. So what you see me doing now is reconciling the budget. If you remember, not long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I came in and I did a mid-month budget check-in, and I did that on camera. And so at that point, I went ahead and I kind of wrote in the received and the actual amounts as of the middle of the month. I like to do that just to kind of check in with the budget. If I'm not going to do it weekly, I'm definitely going to do it and do like a real sit down and thorough walkthrough at least every, like halfway through the month. So every other week essentially. So what I'm doing right now is kind of updating the numbers. I had a different number for the amount that we got from our full-time jobs, the amount that we received back around the middle of the month. But as of now, we have at this point received all of the money that we're going to receive for the month of May. So I'm just updating everything. So from our full-time jobs, we were expecting to bring in $47.57. We actually brought in a little less, $47.33. For the business, we were going to pay ourselves $2,493. We opted to pay ourselves a little more to kind of so as to not go over the budget. And that's kind of like a perk, I guess, of having a business, is that it is quite profitable. I would say that we definitely earn more from the business most months than what we do from our full-time jobs put together, which is wonderful. But I guess one beauty is that we don't use all of that business money. We only use and pay ourselves as we go throughout the months what we really need to kind of, you know, and really you'll see in a minute that there's really only one reason why there's really one area where we like to kind of focus the business income, and that's not really on daily living, but rather advancing our financial careers essentially. And you know, for us right now, it's going to be additional investing so that we can retire early. But y'all knew that already if you've been here before. So anyway, we don't pay ourselves all of the money. A lot of it we reinvest into the business. A lot of it we keep in the account for taxes. Sometimes we can pay ourselves a bonus depending on how it goes, but we try to just withdraw kind of like the bare minimum. We did not expect any miscellaneous income, but we overpaid the state of Georgia, I guess, by $1.20. So they gave us a check for $1.20. And you can imagine I cashed it. So originally we were hoping to bring in $72.50, but we actually brought in $73.72 and 46 cents technically, just because we paid ourselves a little bit more from the business. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and go through, probably off camera, maybe on camera, who really knows, to kind of reconcile the rest of this. Like, as an example, I already know that this is what our security was, because that's how much it is every single month. And what you see so far, minus what I just put there, minus the security, which I can go back to erase that just so, you know, we can be on the same page. What you see is what bills had come out and what actuals we had as of the middle of the month. Now, at the end of the month, since security came out on, let's say the when does security come out? I think the 26th of each month. Now we've already paid, now we've actually paid our security bill. So now I'm adding it to our actual amount. So that's what I'm going to do for the rest of this. All of this is actually the same, just because these are our fixed expenses. So we know what these bills and expenses are going to be before the month actually gets here. So I'm going to go through and just kind of finish up this portion, and then I'll come back to kind of talk about what goals we met for May, if we met the goals. I don't even know. I haven't checked in since the middle of the month. So we'll do that in a minute, but let me go ahead and finish reconciling the budget. This is what you call reconciling a budget. Okay, so let's go ahead and check in with our goals and tasks. These are all of the goals that we had accomplished around the middle of the month. Same with our tasks. I actually did not actually purchase a wedding gift for my sister and her husband, because I opted to do something else for like an actual gift. And book hotels. I did book the one hotel for Myrtle Beach, but I actually didn't book we have another wedding next month in June, and we have not booked that hotel as of May. It's actually a goal for me for the month of June. So those are kind of like, that's an update for our goals and tasks. Now let's go ahead and breeze through this. So the only thing worth notating for our actual, I want to keep my presets the same. I don't want to change that. So we're just going to highlight with this tan color and the green color. So this will be over budget. The only place we were over budget for our housing and utilities is our water/sewer. That's because basically my husband's been running the sprinkler system, but traditionally our bill kind of stays the same amount. So yeah, for which case that made us over budget for our total bills and expenses. Well, bills rather. Okay, so transportation, food, that doesn't exist for us. We actually have all of that kind of wrapped up into one category. So right here we have the health category, and that was exactly the same. Again, those are bills, so we already know what they're going to be before the month actually gets here. Shopping, this is where we have food, gas, transportation, date nights, food for our dogs, literally anything that you can think of that isn't captured by any of these other categories. Honestly, most of the money goes to groceries, if I'm being honest. So anyway, we are under budget here only because I adjusted the budget as we were going through the month. I was thinking like, wow, I think we're actually going to be like under budget. So let me just go ahead and tweak this. And so I decided to tweak the budget, and I just lowered the amount. So technically then we are under budget for shopping. I'll go ahead and highlight this one too. All right, so if you come up here to sinking funds and investing, I actually tweaked this one a little bit too. So basically I took the money from shopping and I put it towards some of our sinking funds. You can't really see that, can you? No, not really. Okay, what about that? Okay, so I took the money from shopping and I put it towards our sinking funds. So technically, if you want to be technical, we are over budget for our sinking funds, and I'll talk more about that momentarily. Next up, we have investing, and we did do additional investing. So not only do we invest through our employers, but we also do additional investing. We try to do $2,000 to $4,000 per month. This month we did $2,000, which then would mean that we are over budget here because we were over budget for our sinking funds, which I'll talk through those in a minute. And then we have Ashley Furniture and our car payment, which is the debts that which are the debts that we're paying on. So those were as expected. So if we add up all of these categories, all of the total categories for every single last one of these, then we should get $7,372.46. Why? Because that is the income that we brought in, and we budget for every dollar, and therefore we should have spent the exact same amount that we brought in. So let's just go ahead and do the math to double check. So I could bring up the calculator on this, but y'all know how I feel about that. It gets a little tricky trying to bring up, I don't really know what I'm doing if I'm being honest. Let's see, is this what we do? Okay, so if we add up all of these categories, then we should get 7,372.46. So let's do it. So the $105, that's actually money that I sent towards our sinking funds. So whenever we do our sinking funds, it's a little tricky as of right now because it's just that way, just because of how I have it set up. But let me show you what I am talking about. So from our sinking funds, these are the different categories. And so we had 50 left over for anniversary, 30 left over for transportation/tags, and 25 left over for entertainment, which is 105. And that's the money that I sent to our Ally account. And then I will add that money to those specific sinking funds. These are all of the sinking funds that we have, and we hold the money in our Ally checking account, or savings account rather. Now the June budget, I actually, like I mentioned, already filmed a budget with me on the June budget, so I'm not gonna go over it, but I'm just kind of flipping through it just so you can kind of see what all our June budget, like what is shaping up to be and look like. So this is our June budget, and this is in the planner that I recently created. So I just want us to kind of flip through that in the event that you were curious, but I have a full video on it that you can watch to get caught up. Okay, so let's talk about these goals. For personal, I said I wanted to lose 5 pounds. If I'm being honest, I don't really know if I've done that or not. So I'm going to assume that I haven't, since I can't confirm nor deny. So we're just gonna go ahead and put an X beside that. I wanted to read 2 chapters of my Will Smith book. I've read 0 chapters, so gonna put an X beside that. Honestly, all of the like leisurely type things for May, I kind of just put off because I knew I would be out of work for 2.5 months in June. So yeah, I'll read like 1,000,000 chapters. Well, probably not, but I'll read, you know, double the chapters or however many chapters I want in June because I'll have all the time that I want. Purchase wedding gift, technically, like I said, did not do that. I did purchase my niece a gift. Technically, I purchased her gift in March, but then it got returned to us and it never made it to us. So basically, I had to repurchase the gift. So I did do that, and I did not submit the TASB form. Any of these goals, just FYI, that didn't get accomplished in May will then go to June. I did send swag for this planner conference meetup situation that I'm going to. I don't think they knew that I was going, but they maybe knew that I was going, but they asked me to send swag, so I sent that. I did secure 2 sponsorship opportunities. I reconciled the budget. I did not study for my license exam. Again, I'll do that in June and going forward. I did sign up for the influencer platform. We did continue our patio project. It's really like an at-home, like a makeover, like a whole, by the way, I don't think you can find me here for every video because I don't have any lighting, just natural lighting. And I'm here for this because I really don't like being bothered with ring lights and all of that. Anyway, we did continue spring cleaning, decluttering, organizing. We did not do any home projects like hanging our glass shelves, hanging the iron board and holder. I actually forgot I had that. So that's the thing. And we didn't hang the photo frames. So those are all of the things that we did or didn't get accomplished in the month of May. Now, I did have like some other little things that I wanted to do in the month of May, to include going on a solo date, which I did do. So what did I do? So first of all, I went to go get breakfast. So I dropped off the dog. This was the day we were going out of town to my sister's wedding for the weekend. I was off of work. I had to take off the day to even like fully prepare for everything. It was just gonna be a weekend thing like Saturday and Sunday, but I needed an extra day to make this happen. So I took off Friday, and then I decided like, well, I can just drop off my husband at work and then drop off the dog because she has to go to boarding, and then, you know, proceed with my day. Then once I did that, I was like, oh wow, this is gonna be the day that I do my solo date. I love dating myself. I love like hanging out by myself. It's a vibe. So it wasn't supposed to be that day, but once I realized my husband was gonna work a full shift, so 8 hours, my dog was gonna be away, I took advantage of that. So I went to get breakfast, and then I went and did some other things, and then I went and got my nails done and my feet done, primarily for the wedding, of course, and I just did a bunch of things by myself. So technically, I did do that, check. I did attend a Mother's Day service. I wanted to do a Mother's Day at church with my mother-in-law, my husband's mother, who is the only parent that we have who lives here. So we did that. I don't think I took any solo walks, I don't think, which is kind of tragic because, again, I like doing things by myself. I like walking by myself without having to deal with the dog or my husband. So I just like doing things on my own time at my own pace. I don't think I did any solo walks. I did have some decent time with my nieces. This was supposed to be at the wedding, but then one of my nieces came back here for, I guess, what is the summer. So she's here, so I'm having lots of time with her. She's probably asleep right now, so I better hurry up and get this video out the way so we can hang. I did not study for my exam, and we did so much weekend patio living, so much. So that was kind of like the goals for the month of May, which a lot of the things that took place in May, a lot of my planning took place in the planner that I was using before I created my own planner. So let's talk about the goals that I have for the month of June, which are in my actual planner. I put on here lose 5 pounds. That's another goal. Should be way more attainable in the month of June since I get to, you know, basically have lots of time freedom. I want to read 5 chapters of Will, study for my clinical exam, get loan paper signed and submit both forms, secure 2 sponsorship opportunities, complete the patio makeover, which would include like ordering the curtains and curtain rods and I think a plant, and that'll pretty much be it for that. Book June travel accommodations because we do have to go to another wedding. I want to go on 1 solo date by myself, 1 couple date with my husband or more, like this is just bare minimum, and 1 family date, which would be including either like my niece and my dog, or either one, like me, my husband, and my dog, which is the typical family, or me, my husband, and my niece. Just like a more inclusive situation. And then complete all home projects. So a lot of those projects that we didn't get done in May, I've pulled them over for June. A lot of these goals actually have been pulled over from May to June, and fingers crossed we can get them accomplished in the month of June. So what else do I need to do for this video? I feel like this video is typically long. Let's see, I did take a few notes. Oh, I gotta share with you guys my mood board, and then of course my screen savers, because I did make a new screensaver. So let me share with you my mood board from the month of May. So here is my mood board. I was kind of into this aesthetic for the month of May. That is my great niece. I have 1 great niece. Beach, nails, Mother's Day, hanging with my family at the beach, created my own planner. I like that selfie, it was kind of cute. More beach stuff, and then more cute nails, and then this is my niece and like one of my nieces and my husband. That's from the other day. So that's the only picture that I have on here from when she actually came home with us from the beach. So anyway, this is my May 2022 mood board. I will do something very similar in the month of June because I just like, since this is so easy to do, I just like adding pictures to, you know, my mood boards for the month of May. Because this is just so easy to do, I really like adding pictures to like a board or, you know, whatever, just to kind of create, just to be able to look back. It's kind of like memory keeping. So I will do this again in the month of June. So I made my screensaver in Canva, again, FYI, like I always do. So I'm just gonna add this to my phone. So I'm just gonna add that one to my phone, and then I'm gonna add the same one to my iPad. So everything is, you know, the same. And then, so I always add that calendar one to my lock screen, and then for my home screen, I actually add the exact same. I just basically take away all of the elements and then I add it as my lock screen. So the only other thing worth notating, which I really feel like I don't really need to notate this because I already notated it last time, but of course I have my Google Calendar, which I kind of mentioned I don't have to do a whole lot to for the month of June because it's already ready to go. But I transferred everything to the calendar in my actual planner, which I'll do a plan with me, you know, at some point this month. So you'll actually see my planner because this is the new planner that I created myself. But the only other thing that I want to notate is that I did create what is called a content tracker, and then which you'll see it in a minute. Have you guys even seen this yet? I don't think. I think in my head, I would have done the flip through, which I intended to do before the footage was trash, before actually doing this video. So it all made sense, but I created what is called a content tracker. And then I just put in all of the platforms that I'm planning to post on in the month of June. And I actually even wrote in the dates that I'm planning to film the content. And I'm also gonna write in eventually the dates that I'm planning to post the content. So I'm still kind of working out the kinks and all of the things, but these are what I'm about to show you is all of the content that I am planning to post in the month of June, which, you know, is debatable because I just do the best that I can over here. But I feel like in the summer, I should be able to do more than what I typically do, but I don't really know because my niece is here and I just can't really be bothered with filming a whole lot. But this is my content. But this is my content tracker. As you can see, I just kind of wrote in the video ideas and where I plan to post and the dates that I plan to create the content, which is the most important. Obviously, editing it and publishing it is important too, but obviously there will be no content to edit or publish or post if I don't create the actual content. So this is my content tracker that I created, and it's a part of the planner that I created. Okay, you guys, so I think that's pretty much it for today's video. We did a lot in today's video, but I feel accomplished and ready to take on the month of June. Today's May 31st, if I haven't mentioned that already. So only one more day until the month of June. Hopefully I'll have this video up today, which would be quite the success. So hopefully I'll have this video up today. If not, of course, you will see it tomorrow. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below in the comment section. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.